What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with a brand new review for Belle Collective Season 2, Episode 4. Episode is titled Boys to Men, you guys. So before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this episode, watching this review, or any other on the channel, and you guys aren't subscribed yet, do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning your post notifications on, and sharing the video. And with that out the way, you guys, without further ado, let's discuss Belle Collective, shall we? All right, you guys, so we're 4 episodes into Belle Collective, and I want you guys to tell me what you guys are thinking about this season so far. So far, I will say season 3 is, there's some things that I'm not liking about season 3, and it's on the show and mostly it's off the show. So let's just briefly talk about the one thing that I didn't like. So after last Friday's episode, Latrice and Marie, they were going back and forth with each other. Like, they started subtweeting each other on Friday night, right? Then it went into Saturday morning. Then it went into Sunday morning. Then it went into Monday afternoon. I was, because I even tweeted on my timeline on my Twitter Monday. I was like, I know you fucking lying. Marie and Latrice are still subtweeting each other at this point. It was ridiculous, and the things that were being said, it was just, I was like, oh my God, it's just really, really disgusting to me personally. Like, because I didn't like the fact that Marie was putting out there that Latrice is an abused woman by Cliff, right? I think if we look at the show and we look at how Cliff talks to Latrice, you can probably deduce that he's probably, at least verbally, but she's saying it's physical, right? And I'm saying I don't know that, so I'm gonna put out here for myself and my sake that that's alleged. I don't know that Cliff has abused Latrice, because she said that Latrice is coming to set with bruises on her. I don't know that to be true. So I will err on the safe side of saying that's alleged. And, you know, I know somebody said that she was on Carlos King's podcast and they discussed it. If that's the case, you never mind. Because that'll take me, if I go down that rabbit hole, then there's another rabbit hole that I would have to go down, and I definitely don't want to go into that one. I want to wait and see if it is discussed at the Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion. So we're not gonna talk too deeply about this situation, because if I do, then I have to talk about the other situation that's out there about another one of Carlos King's cast members. But that's not for today. We're gonna just put a button in that and let it ride. So we'll wait and see what the reunions hold for both Belle Collective and Love and Marriage Huntsville. So this episode, we see JJ's mom as she is moving into his house, and him and Soguchi's house, right? At first, I thought maybe this was, you know, I'm not saying that this is fake, but it definitely gave fake, right? Because when they asked her, you know, how long was she staying, I was like, and she didn't have a timeline. And I was looking at Mama. I'm like, so Mama got her own place? I will say one thing about JJ's mom: beautiful black woman, beautiful black woman. But yeah, for me, this situation here just doesn't seem real. I didn't get real from it, but it could be right. So Gucci told him that he needs to put a timeline on his mom staying, and again, there's no timeline on her staying. There's no justification of why she's staying either, because I can see it if maybe her house, you know, with the water crisis in Jackson, right? If they said that, you know, her water was bad or whatever, because they never really said why she's moving in. At least with Latrice and Cliff, we knew why Josh was staying there, but we don't really know why JJ's mom is staying with them. But honestly, that ain't got nothing to do with me. You know, if JJ is cool with it, and so Gucci is cool with it, if it is for storyline purposes, it is what it is, right? So next up, Latrice and Cliff, you guys. So I watched this episode real time. Then I had to go back and do my notes. So I did not want to rewatch this scene because I didn't like it the first time I watched it, and I did. So the second time I was like, ain't no way. So I have, they sat down for dinner, and Latrice was talking to Cliff. Now she apologized to Cliff, and she was apologizing for the situation that happened previously when she went out to the club, right? Well, went out to the bar, and she didn't really tell him. And I was like, Latrice, I really want you to take a little, like an inward look, and realize that this relationship. I'm not gonna say you should divorce your husband because again, that's not what I say to people, right? That ain't for me to tell nobody. But I will say with this, I really do think that maybe you should look at your relationship, and you've said it before that Cliff treats you like a daughter. That's very telling. He doesn't treat you like a wife. He treats you like a child. He treats you like a little trophy. I really want Latrice to go sit down with a therapist and work through her daddy issues because that's really that. Sitting there looking at that, that's all I can think of. And then the fact for him to say that they're not equals, excuse you. Okay, are you work like what do you do for? Never mind. That's why I didn't want to talk about that scene. But let's pause here and move forward, you guys. So next up, we see Marie, So Gucci, and Ikea, right? So they went to brunch. Now this scene right here, I absolutely hated this scene. I hated this scene after So Gucci told Ikea, and Marie that her mother-in-law was staying with her. This scene went downhill for me, right? Because the one thing I don't trust is a person who will go and tell my business to somebody that I don't rock with or I don't fuck with, and then for somebody who is my friend to talk shit about me behind my back and I find out about it. Like, and that ain't cool. So so Gucci told them about her mother-in-law staying with them, Marie decided that she wanted to talk about Letitia's business to Ikea. And Marie, and like, I was like, Marie, you know damn well that Ikea and Letitia are not friends. So why would you tell her that woman's business about her and her husband? That ain't got nothing to do with her. So I don't know. If I ever find out any of my friends did something like that, went and told somebody who is not my friend, my personal business, I'm be like, what gave you the right to tell something that is pertaining to my life that ain't got nothing to do with you? Like, I would look at you like literally I would look at my friend sideways. So for Marie to keep calling Latrice a snake, you are too, my love. Like, you're a snake just as well as she is. I don't know what Latrice has done that's so snakish, but you a snake, sweetie. You can't keep calling Latrice a snake. You gotta look in the mirror. So then they talked about Latrice inviting them to her wig lunch, right? And Marie said, yeah, she invited me, but I'm not going. She said, that girl is insane because she invited you to her wig lunch. Girl, I'm pretty positive that if she invited you, production was like, if you're gonna film this event, if there's gonna be a cast event, you gotta invite the whole entire cast, and that includes Marie. So she probably said, fuck it, let's just invite the woman, right? Like, Marie put a lot into that to make her, I'm like, okay, I think we putting 20 on 10, right? So Gucci. Now, you guys know, I told you, I like all the women on this cast, right? But so Gucci started talking about Latrice, and I was like, wait a minute now. I thought y'all made up. Now you did tell her, you gonna stay. It's gonna depend on when you want to get over it. It's like, then how this work? I apologize to you. Either you accept the apology or you don't accept the apology. If you don't accept it, then say that so we can just dead it and move on. But then she starts talking about her business. I was like, oh my God, what the hell is going on here? I was like, I don't know if I would consider any of y'all real friends because none of I would tell my friends wouldn't do that. I can't, I don't do that. I don't do that to my friends, and I expect that in return from my friends. If I know you not cool with somebody, I'm not gonna sit around and let somebody talk negatively about you, and I'm not gonna add on to it. Even if me and my friend fall out today and we don't talk for a few weeks, months, years, days, whatever, I'm never going to badmouth them. Like I just don't. I wouldn't do that. Oh, this is why I say I would never do a reality show with my friends, especially my best friend. I would just never do a reality show with anybody that I consider friends and family. That I don't want to sour our relationship, but I don't, or I wouldn't want reality TV to come in between us. Hell to the now, hell to the now, to the now, to the now, to the now, now, now. Hell no. But let's pause here, you guys, and move forward. All right, you guys. So next up, we gonna go ahead and get Glenn out the way. So the first thing with Glenn, he was with Cliff. I wasn't listening to it the first time. I didn't listen to it the second time, so I can't tell you guys anything that was said because they definitely have to use subtitles with Cliff. So I don't know what was said. I don't care what was said. I know Glenn was talking about how he hadn't had sex. There's something called the fleshlight. You can go buy some sex toys and have pleasure yourself. You can even use your hand, get some lube, and go to town on yourself. It's a quick fix, right? So then we saw Glenn in the studio. Keep your money, because that song that you was in the studio doing, it was trash. Period. It was trash. Wouldn't buy it if you pay. Wouldn't buy it if it were free. Absolutely the fuck not, right? So I do want to say I do feel bad for Glenn, right? Because while he was in the studio, he got a phone call about his grandmother. So he went down to Letitia's her office, and he found out that his grandmother is in hospice, and it's not looking good, right? So I do empathize with him, but also I will say to Letitia, yes, you want to be there for him because that is your husband and the father of your son, right? But don't let that sway your decision if you want to stay with him or not, because he's going through so much and he's losing so much, right? He wasn't thinking about what he could potentially lose when he was doing the things that he was doing to you. So I want you to keep that in the back of your head, right? Be there for him. It's nothing wrong with being there for him. It's nothing wrong with, supporting him and whatnot. But also think about what's best for you, yourself, and your son. So that's all I got to say. So let's pause here and wrap up the episode, you guys. All right, you guys. So next up, let's talk about Latrice and her mom, right? I love Latrice's mom. She came over to Latrice's house. They cooked. And honestly, with Latrice, I hope she listens. I know she was talking about she feels like people who give their advice to her, come off as haters, right? 9 times out of 10, people might not like, people may hate you, may not like you, right? But if you hear the same thing more than once, everybody can't be a hater, especially if it's something that they spot or that they see. Not everybody is hating on you. They're just saying, hey, I see something. I think you should take a look at that and just, keep an eye on that, right? But they talked about Cliff, and honestly, listening to that conversation with Latrice and her mom, I think Latrice needs to go see therapy, because I know she has some internal daddy issues, because she literally married her father. And, her mom, I love when her mom was telling her, like, you didn't live your life. And I think that's what Latrice is doing. I feel like Latrice got married actually she did, because her and Cliff have been married for 10 years, right? At least 10 years. So that means that Latrice got married in her early 20s. So like her mama said, you didn't really get to live your life. And that's why I always say what I say about people who get married in their 20s. Live your life. Because then when you get 10 years or like your 30s and your 40s, you want to do the things that you missed out on in your 20s. And I think that's where Latrice is. I think she missed out on so much stuff being someone's wife. And she's trying to make up for those things that she didn't get to do. And you got this older man as your husband. And like I said, I want Latrice to be happy. If that is with Cliff, so be it, right? But I definitely do want her to figure out what her issues are when it comes to her father. I want her to figure those issues out. And that's it. But let's go ahead and move over to the last story. Akeisha Ikea. So Akeisha Ikea is meeting with her mom, who is actually her biological aunt. And that's where I connect with Akeisha Ikea at, because my mom was my biological aunt as well. So that's why I shade Akeisha Ikea, but I actually really do like her. Um, they went over everything that needs to be done for for the taxes and whatnot, and then they just had a conversation about her mom. When she got adopted, so she is the product. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it that way. I don't want to say it that way. So I'm gonna clean up what I was about to say. So her father was married, and her father had an affair. So she was the result of that affair that her father had, right? And I think it's cool when people adopt kids within their family. I just think it's cool when people adopt kids. I just think this is cool, right? For the longest time, for me, I was dead set against adoption, because when I found out that I wasn't my mom's biological son, I did have a lot of anger from that. But once I was able to get past it, I realized that, I was truly blessed with the mother that I had. So, yeah, I mean, I really liked that scene. I truly did. I truly, truly liked that scene. Yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this episode. It was a good episode. It wasn't terrible. But let me know what you guys think about this episode and this season so far. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. You guys stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.